Hey everybody, hope you're keeping well and having a good week. Just want to say a big thank you to Dimitri for joining us on Talking Movies the other day. It was a great chat and discussing our most overrated films. Clearly, we had some shocks and we're still friends, which is always good. And me and Hus will be looking forward to getting you back on the stream at some point soon. This week, we are going to be talking about the 60s and our top films of that era. This is no mean feat, and we are going to be joined by Roman from the Cinema Monologues, who is going to be showing his side of the pie. And I cannot wait to see what Hus and Roman have to bring to the table, because my list is ever growing, and I don't know if I'm going to get a top 10 by Friday, but we'll see. So join us then, 8 p.m. GMT, description, join us, link is there. And we will go to the review now.
thatmovieguyUK.
If you've been joining us on live stream for the last couple of weeks, one director's name has popped up every week, and that is Sion Sono. He's a director that I vaguely knew before, but I feel like I know him a lot more now. And I've not really watched many new films recently, but I've just finished watching Love Exposure, and honestly, I really want to talk about it, and that's why we're here. Love Exposure is the story of a teenage boy named Yu. He falls for Yoko, a girl he runs into while working as an upscale photographer in an offshoot of the porn industry. His attempts to woo her are complicated by a spot of cross-dressing, which convinces Yoko that she's a lesbian, dalliances with kung fu and crime, and a constant struggle with the guilt that's a legacy of his Catholic upbringing. The fact that Sion Sono has conceived and then executed a 4-hour cohesive piece of art house cinema is impressive within itself. It is no mean feat. And what actually makes it even more plausible is that the fact that he actually maintains the message of what he wants to represent, which we'll get to in a bit. And throughout this whole film, yes, we go through various genres. We cover a lot of subtext, a lot of context, and a lot of blood. But we actually end up with Sono's vision, and that is something that is truly impressive. I've heard there's a 6-hour cut of this film, and I feel like I could easily watch a 6-hour version of this film. That is the thing about Love Exposure. It is very rewatchable. It's very seldom that we go into films of this length and want to actually go back. Sometimes they feel like a slog. You think about your Schindler's List, you think about 10 Commandments, you think about your San Santiago, you think of Napoleon. It is a grind. There is no grind to this. It is a pure joy to watch, and I cannot believe it's taken me this long to visit it. It is one of my favourite films that I have seen in a very long time, and one of the best films I watched during lockdown. What I find interesting within Sion Sono's film as well is the way that he tackles religion, especially Catholicism. Catholicism is only, I think, practiced by 0.5% of the population of Japan. So that's like 500,000 people, I believe, roughly. So for a Japanese director to explore this world of sin and faith and belief, I find it interesting. And his use of Christian imagery throughout the thing, you know, we see a lot of Mary Magdalene, we see the cross, we see feints of Jesus Christ. Faith is something that at times we do not always practice it, but what I find so interesting with you is it's always in the back of his mind. And for him also, it's this connection to his father. His father wants him to repent his sins, and he makes up sins, because inside I feel like he is a lot more deviant than what he shows at times. But obviously as we go through the film, we do see his descent into that sinful path. And what Sono gives is this full-body journey of a human being looking for love, really. But that achievement of love has gone down a very beaten track, but an interesting track, nonetheless. The whole process of Love Exposure is really used with handheld camera, and the handheld camera really keeps this kinetic energy flowing through the whole film, and there is always a momentum to it. You know, there are some interesting fight scenes, there are some interesting scenes of gore, but what Sono provides is he gives very different perspectives or gives a shock factor without making it feel forced. You see a lot more of the world through Sono's vision, and through the whole of Love Exposure, you feel this journey that our characters are going through, and it's fast-paced, and that's how you would want a 4-hour film to be. Sono also uses classical music to his advantage with this film. I think the most poignant use of it is Beethoven's Seventh, I believe, in the back end of this film when they're on the beach and they're talking together about the three fundamental elements of life. And love is the main one that is screamed out. It's very poignant. The way that the camera actually stays still during this moment in time really encapsulates what Sono was going for. We go through various stages in our lives to achieve or go to this goal of loving somebody, and then that moment happens on the beach. And I think it's one of the most powerful uses of classical music within 21st century film, but also it's the most poignant moment of the whole piece. And I really was struck in a chord by this. I've actually had to watch it maybe once or twice just to really get the full gravitas of it. But honestly, I'm so dumbstruck by Love Exposure. It is a phenomenal film. And I just wanted to share a little bit about it. I don't really want to go too deep into it, but that's kind of my early reactions, and I'm probably going to be talking about this one for a very long time. Have you seen Love Exposure? Please let me know what you think of it. I'm always intrigued to know what you guys think. Obviously, big thank you to anybody that has recommended this film to me. I am so glad I've watched it, and I cannot wait to continue my journey into Sion Sono movies. I will be logging everything on my Letterboxd, so feel free to go over there. It is in my description. Hello new subscribers, hello old subscribers, how are you all doing? Please let me know what you're watching, what you're buying, what you're collecting, what is your new hobby. I'm always keen to know what everybody's up to. And like I said, please feel free to join us on Talking Movies on live stream this very Friday. Comment below, everything is there. And yeah, so it's going to be great. 1960s, great era of cinema. I have no clue what's going to happen, but we'll see. Anyway, as we normally say on this channel, Diolch danke, obrigado, merci beaucoup, arigato, dankeschön, bitteschön, all the shins, and obviously, never change. Especially you, Sion Sono. You never change.